I just start talking about writing as people are coming in, Jen and I and the Spectronics team, some of the stuff that we like about running these workshops is what you as the participants bring to us. I'm constantly inspired by what other therapists and educators and teachers and everyone around the country is doing. I get to meet so many wonderful people. So there's been a few people that have said, oh, have you tried this app? And have you done this? And you could do this. And it changes, and we almost edit our workshop on the run sometimes based on what people are saying. So I've got a couple of housekeeping things just to say. Comments and queries from people that are asking us really nice questions out there. Obviously, remember when we started at the beginning, we found out who you all were. We had a lot of people that were from working in special education was what they ticked. So working with children with special needs. So you might be one of those people. And when we talk about literacy, there's unfortunately, because obviously children with special needs are such a diverse population, there's not a lot of research into what literacy strategies work or don't work. So I just want to say to you, I don't see why there's any reason why children with special needs should be taught literacy in any other way different to what we do with the other kids in our classroom. Okay, so they don't need a special program. You don't need to do something different. Exposing them to reading experiences, giving them opportunities to write, teaching them literacy and phonics construction it just should be part and parcel of what they do. They're not all visual learners. They're not all just going to have to learn sight words and that's how they're going to get literacy. It doesn't work like that. Well, it can and it can't, and I'm not going to start a debate there on that either. But I just want to encourage you guys to just, if you've got kids, if you're working in special education, to just go about teaching. Maybe it takes longer. Maybe you need extra supports in there. I have some amazing students. A young man that I keep thinking of whenever I talk about this, he has no speech at all. He's non-verbal. He has an intellectual impairment, no speech, and he's learning literacy at the moment to a level. He's about 9 now, and do you know what? He can sound out and decode words. He can't say them. He's doing finger spelling. So he has decoded. He sees a C and he goes k, at, so he was sounding out and doing everything with finger spelling. It's amazing how he has learnt literacy. He just needed an extra level of support to learn literacy, but it hasn't meant that we haven't done phonic construction with him. And now he's transferring that over to the keyboard, and that's where you get squeals of excitement with, writing and literacy coming for him that people perhaps didn't think was going to happen. So it's really important. And each of us, the other important thing to note, as each of us as different learners sitting out here, I know some of you have said, this is my first time with an iPad. This is my first workshop. I'm new to technology. Some of you have said, I've only got one iPad in my classroom, or I don't have much technology, or I don't, we're all different. Today's workshop was to just present to you lots of different options and for you to analyse all of the options and see what worked for you. We didn't really plan it to be hands-on. The hands-on that we did is when you get to come up the front. That was it. But we're opening, the hands-on component is where you're analysing and digesting and reflecting on it. Okay, so in this section, when we talk about writing, we are going to do a partner activity with the person that you're sitting with, and hopefully, you'll have a bit more time to process stuff. So, because we know there's lots of information that we're bringing forward to you. One of the other questions that comes up quite often is, obviously, we don't all have iPads. Some people now are getting Android devices, tablets. So I just wanted to show something really cool, because people will say, oh, well, is that on Google Play? And some people aren't aware. Obviously, you can do a Google search. Any of you will know anyway, if you try and search in the App Store, if you don't know the exact name of the app, sometimes you can't find it, but that's another story altogether. But if you're looking for an app, so you go into Google, there's a little section that says More. I know that's really small on the screen to see you, but just get the idea. If you push the drop-down arrow next to More, there's a button that says Apps. So now what it's going to do is it's just going to search for the word phonics that are apps. And it's not just apps on the iTunes Store, it will also be apps in Google Play. So you can see here, so how many does it say? 345,000. So instead of saying a gazillion million, like I said before, I could actually be more accurate now in my search. Gazillion million sounds way better, I'm just saying. So just say, for example, we've talked today about Book Creator, which is one of our big apps that we use. And when I click on it, I can actually see, yes, it is available on the iTunes Store, which we knew we've shown that, but it's also available on Google Play. Excellent. Another big one that we've shown today is an app like Explain Everything. It's up to app developers as to whether they will develop the app. Oh, I spelled that wrong, but it got me anyway. Yes, Explain Everything is available on both platforms. So these are really important things that you can do if you're working across platforms.